Hello and welcome to Forever Sports. What you're seeing over there is correct. The Sharks progress to the URC semi-finals based on a kickoff after extra time. Absolute scenes down in Durban and, absolutely heartbreaking for Munster. What a mental way to decide a game. We just had 6 kicks, each team. Bradley Davis, Jordan Henderson, Jaden Hendricks, Jack Crowley, Roy Scannell, and Conor Murray for Munster. And Sharks winning with 6 points down to 4. I mean, we had people cramping up throughout the game. We had people, Jaden Hendrickson cramping up after his kick. A little bit of gamesmanship, maybe. I mean, we had a bit of a fallout. Jack Crowley telling him basically to F off after, well, not basically, telling him to F off after the theatrics, but ridiculous to have gone 100 minutes of rugby and nothing separating the sides. And shout out to those two sides, because what a spectacle they produced. We're going to break the game down, and it's been a long, long evening. I mean, we're closing in almost 3 hours since kickoff, and we've only just had somebody decide what the game was. Before we do, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Let's have a look, shall we? So, it was a tough time for the Sharks, to be honest. 7-0 at half-time. Sharks looked a little bit kind of like we had seen throughout the season, to be perfectly honest, where they had their chances, they had moments, but they hadn't been able to put anything together to score any sort of points. And you kind of start to think that sort of situation, we've seen this before. We've seen the Sharks team absolutely stacked, not be able to rock up and get the job done. And to have not scored any points in the first half was pretty poor in the end. And I think Munster would have gone to half-time going, listen, we're in this here. But then Sharks kind of arrived a little bit. Hooker with a phenomenal try in the 45th minute. I mean, fantastic off it. As he's going down, Vince took a throws out chicken wing. Ethan Hooker's got so much left to do. He beats 2 ducks inside of Jack Crowley. He goes over, and a penalty about 10 minutes later meant suddenly the Sharks in the lead for the first time in the 54th minute. However, that lead was very short-lived because Munster hit back just 2 minutes later as Wycherley went over, and Kilgallen also went over after Makazoloma Pimpy slipped chasing that ball. With 20 minutes to go, less 3 minutes to go, Sharks 21 points to 10 down. You're thinking they're down and out. Not to be. Fussy goes over in the 67th minute. Fez and Barter goes over in the 72nd minute. 24 points to 21. You're thinking there's the comeback. They've come from 11 points down, and now they're 3 points up, and that's the game. Wrong. Conor Murray then gets a penalty. There's a penalty in the 76th minute, and Conor Murray says, I'll have a go here. And they square it up. We then go into extra time. Sharks with all the opportunities, but no real threat to score tries. Both teams having scored 3 tries meant that anything after extra time, if it was still level, realistically was going to be a kickoff. And Jordan Henderson had a drop goal attempt charged down in the first half of extra time. Eventually, we go to a kickoff, and then the theatrics start. I mean, it's bizarre. So basically, how a kickoff works is you have 6 kicks, 3 on the 10-meter line, 3 on the 22. Start on the 22, center, right, left. Center, right, left on the 10-meter line. Sharks go bang, bang, bang. We go, well, actually, Scannell misses it. I mean, it's a horrible first kick, to be honest. Sharks go 3 from 3. Munster go 2 from 3. Then it goes back to the 10-meter line, and this is where it's going to get quite controversial as we go, because Jaden Hendricks took his kick, nailed it, and then went down with cramp. Now, he stayed down for a long time, a lot of theatrics, and I think what will really rile up the Irish supporters is the fact that he even gave Jack Crowley a bit of a wing. Jack Crowley wants to go. He said he's not falling for this stuff, but the ref said, no, let's move him, let's wait for him to move, give you the opportunity, basically, to have a go. And I think the wink on the ground really got to Jack Crowley. He stayed calm, in fairness. He nailed it, but then he went after Jaden Henderson with a lot to say, basically intimating that he didn't actually have cramp, or he was milking it, and he was just trying to put him off. It didn't work. He got it. And credit to Roy Scannell, who missed his first, then nailed his second. Bradley Davids, by the way, was subbed on at probably about 97 or 8 minutes. He was subbed on with 2 minutes to go, purely for the kickoff, because he's a goal kicker. I mean, how is that for a coach having to sub a player on for a kickoff in a rugby match, and he comes on and he slots it to give them the place in the semi-final. I don't think we've ever actually seen something like that before. That could have literally been a rugby first. But let's go into the game and look at where it is, because, I mean, it was so even, and that's the thing. And there's not a lot. I mean, you could talk about time in the lead, for example. Sharks at 6 minutes in the lead. Munster, more than 21. I'm not quite sure why it's only got 21 minutes in the lead. It wasn't level for that long. But 22 entries, for example, Munster far, far more accurate. This is what I was sort of saying. The fact that whenever they got the opportunity, they took it. 5 entries, 4.2 points to score, more than double what the Sharks were doing. You can see very different as well from attack profile and defense profile. When we saw, for example, the Edinburgh Bulls game, that was all very, very similar. Now, let's go into some of the stats of the game, shall we, and sort of see where it was game and won. So the main thing, obviously an important stat, is 3 tries apiece, because that is why we ended up in a kickoff, because it goes down to the number of tries scored. Had there been one more try scored by either team, we wouldn't have even gotten to a kickoff. So it literally is the final possible way of deciding a game. 3 tries, 3 conversions, a penalty each, absolutely identical. Carries, look at the Sharks versus, 166 carries versus 90. 20 turnovers lost. The Sharks' handling was atrocious. I think it was a bit wet, but it was atrocious. They have mistakes like that next week against the Bulls, against that scrum. They will not progress to the final. Territory trains quite a lot, to be honest, over it. Sharks didn't have a lot of territory to begin with, and then just grew into the game as they went by. Possession, Sharks put Munster under a lot of pressure, and when we get to the defense, you'll see just how much pressure here. Scrums, Sharks did not use a scrum. That was a huge part of their game, and credit to especially the reserve front row. Intukung and Honor Jacobs, they came on and made a huge, huge difference. Lineouts also very good from both sides. Sharks, more post-contact meters, more carries, but credit where credit's due. Look at that defensive effort. 219 tackles made, 87% tackle completion percent. I mean, that's mental for Munster. They just did not give up. And I think it kind of shows you also a bit of a flaw in what the Sharks, current issues are. And that's the fact that they just don't score enough points. And they don't attack well enough. So it's a big thing, I think, for them to look out for next week, because the Bulls are not going to let them get away with that. They're really not. And it's going to be a big work on for them to be able to make sure they score points, because they're going to concede points against the Bulls. They're going to concede points if they learn and play, for example, at Leinster. They now need to learn how to score more points. So if you look at some of the individual stats, the Aple Fassi 16 carries, Andre Estes and 13 carries, Jordan Hendrickson 13 carries. Some big defensive shifts coming from Munster. Niall Scannell, 21 tackles. Jean Klein, 19 tackles. John Hodnett, 19 tackles. Davin Coombs, 18 tackles. Michael Milne, 17 tackles. I mean, there were 6 Munster players who made 15 or more tackles. And there were 2 after that with 14 each. It's ridiculous. They were the 9 of the top 10 tacklers. The top tackler for the Sharks was Etzebeth with 12. And I mean, he was colossal. Remember the name Ethan Hooker? He walked away with the Man of the Match award. Played really, really well. But just absolutely bizarre. Bizarre scenes down in Durban. And whether you like it or not, we've got a result. It has been determined. And that will be the semi-final next week. Bulls versus Sharks. That means we are guaranteed a South African finalist. For the 4th season in a row, we will have a South African team in the final. Fair or not, that's how it's done. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. I think a lot of Irish fans are a little bit annoyed. Nobody wants to go out like that. I think it's horrible, to be honest. I think there's a lot of accusations being thrown against Hendrickson for poor sportsmanship. Some people saying as far as cheating. Problem is you can't really ever know the legitimacy of it, because you can't go and just say he's faking it. I mean, they were all cramping. Ty Byrne cramped trying to go into a scrum, for example. And then Hendrickson had played the full game. I do think there was a bit of gamesmanship involved in it. An interesting incident. It adds to the theatre. I'm all for it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Smash like on the video. Subscribe to the channel.